times by skillful painters at the center. So when we brought it here, we could not come to the center without bringing essentially our ancestors, and Malangatana is one of our ancestors. We could not come to this new site without bringing Malangatana with us, and other what we would say are spiritual references and heritage from the Africa Center. So when you get a chance, you go to the first floor, you will see this incredible mural, which was painted by him, I think in 1987, and that was around the time, I think, when Richard first met it.
I drove him here.
You drove him here. There you go. If you ask Richard questions, all stuff comes out. So it's an extremely important mural. So that is why it's so fitting to have you here, Richard, launching this book. The second thing I need to say is that we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Nando's. One of the Nando's directors is here. I won't point him out. I may later if you pay me. But Nando's supported us in actually restoring this mural. It took 6-7 men to lift this mural and install it where it was. We had a film of them almost falling over. It almost went, it was close. And Nando supported us in restoring it, installing it, and also they've supported us this evening. And we just never forget friends like that at the center. Large corporate company, they just said yes. And so thank you to Nando's, and I know some of the staff are here. Not only, and the chicken's good as well. So. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to the Africa Center staff. Nor, she's one of our interns. This is her second week. Baptism from fire, straight into the center, straight into the roller coaster of charity and chaos. But she's just thrown herself in. Chike over there, stalwart, an artist himself, very accomplished artist, been with the center 3-4 years now, can't do without him. And then of course all of you who have come this evening to support us at the center. Please give us your comments, give us your feedback, give us your support. Without it, obviously charities fail. So just support us, keep interested, keep coming, and just sign up, become a friend, like us for social media. Right. Luckily I've cancelled my hourly rate, otherwise we'd have been broke this evening. I think I can say that we're ready for Chris to come up. Chris, please. A running order? Okay. But Chris, come up anyway.
Okay. And also, before we kind of get started, is the High Commissioner here? So if she is, will she please come and sit?
Okay. She's represented. This is the High Commissioner of Mozambique. Yeah. See, this is what happens when you admit who you are. You can identify. Thank you. A round of applause, please, for the High Commissioner of Mozambique. I'll give this back to you. Thank you.
Back to me, everybody. So we do have a running order for tonight. I'm just going to be the interludes in the middle, so you won't need to see too much of me. Firstly, we want to say it's great that there's so many faces here and so many people have come to support my dad and to support the family and to support the African Center as well. But there are a lot of people that haven't been able to come. Because they're no longer with us, or because they live in different countries, or because for one reason or another they can't be here. So my dad's just going to welcome them to the event, as it were, those absentees. So I'll pass you over.
Yes, a proper meeting starts with absences and apologies. So, first of all, the absent friends tonight. Sadly, in the course of the work on this book over the years, a number of the core contributors, in particular a number of the elders of Matalana, the village where Malangatana was born, have passed away, and they're not here to celebrate the result of their work, which is in the book. So I would like to dedicate this evening's session, this get-together, this gathering, to their memory, and I would like their names to I'd like to read out their names if I may. So this is a number of those people, plus other family members and friends who unfortunately are not able to be with us any longer. I'll hold the microphone and
Okay, special tribute is due to the contributors who died before the book was complete. Carlos Carvalho, Mayasa Hassani, José Júlio, Obligo Magaya, Gelita Manguana, she was Malangatana's wife, Mimatovo, Massasotti Paulo Ngwenya, Persina Ngwenya, Joaneta Ngwenya, Champlino Ngwenya, Lindo Tlongo, Rob, Bobby Jumpers Picard, Paulo Soares, and Manuel Shabani. Rest in peace. And the apologies, we have apologies from living people, those who are still among the living. First of all, Karine Harnand, who agreed to come and speak tonight, is going to come along to represent Tate. She's currently one of the curators, the senior curator's post at the new Tate Liverpool. She was, at the time when work was going on this book, she was the international buyer for Tate Modern. And she has encouraged me, supported me, and came along to other sessions. Sadly, she had to pull out at the last moment because of work commitments up in Liverpool, but she wishes us the best tonight, and so I've agreed to pass on her apologies. There are a number of key Mozambicans who have been mentioned already. You're going to meet them on video and by images on screen. They're not here for reasons, mainly because the UK made it so difficult for Mozambicans to enter this country. Getting a visa from the High Commission in Maputo, I'm not going to go into that, it would take all evening. So it's a great shame that the key people who contributed to this book, without whom the book would not have happened, are not able to be here. But you're going to be introduced to them, you're going to meet them. So apologies from them that they're not here. And also Pedro Ben, the musical legend of Mozambique, who was one of the artists on the Amanhecer album, which was the first album of Mozambican popular music to come out after independence. Came out in '76. Independence was in 1975. Pedro Ben would have liked to be here to provide the music, but again, he has to apologise. Family illness has meant that he's had to go to Portugal at short notice, so he asked me to give you his apologies. He can't be here tonight. Okay, and I'm very happy to we're here, we're the party, we're going to do it. I'm very honoured that we have a representative of Albertina MacDonald, who is the High Commissioner for Mozambique to the UK. I'm sorry, sir, you didn't. I don't know your name, but you've come to represent. Would you like to?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Simeon Matriele. I work in Mozambique High Commission, so I came just to represent the High Commission to design. Thank you.
Okay, next is thank yous. My Kanimambos. Kanimambo is in Malangatana's maternal stronger. As many people here tonight know, Kani Mambo means thank you. And the way Malangatana would have seen things, he saw things very much in terms of family relationships. He wasn't a great individualist. It was always about family. He would have talked about the Familia Ngwenya and the Familia Grey. That's how he referred to me, Julia, and son Ben, who's here, and his wife Krista, and our granddaughters, Sigrid and Agnes, who are here tonight. The family Grey. There's also the family Davis, who are kind of pretty much the family Grey. Julia is a Davis who became a Grey. So welcome to all the family members who are here tonight. If Malangatana had been doing this, you wouldn't have got away with our song. And those of you who know Mozambique, they're going to know the song that's going to come. If you know it, please sing it. If you don't know it, the word is Kani Mambo. It's only one word. It's not that hard. And I won't, we've got a lot to do tonight, so I won't do more than a thank you to Malangatana song. But it goes like this, and he would have struck up, I'm sure. Kani Mambo, familia Ngwenya. Kani Mambo, familia Ngwenya. Kani Mambo, familia Ngwenya. Kani Mambo, familia Ngwenya. So also, I'd like to also say thank you going on in terms of the collective entities involved. I would like to say thank you to all my tutors at Suez and at Goldsmiths, the production team at Garde Verlag, and I'm very happy that Jürgen Vogt, who's come from Berlin today to take part in this launch. The events team at the Africa Centre, I'd like to thank them personally, as Olga did. I'd like to put my thank you to you. So that's the collective thank yous. Please give them a big round of applause. But I'm going to break with the collective spirit of the way Malangatana himself would probably approach this, because I do want to single out just a few individuals. The first is Julia, my partner and wife, who's here. We just a couple of weeks ago celebrated 50 years together. From the day that we met Malangatana in Maputo, Mozambique, in 1978, she's always said to me, Richard, do what you've got to do. And she's been saying it for nigh on 50 years. And when I would disappear off with Malangatana, with groups of young people, into the countryside of Maputo to do mainly oral history research, she was unable to come because Julia was not the dentist at Maputo Central Hospital. She was the only dentist in town, so she was extremely busy. And I think only once were you able to actually come out with us. But she always said, "Go, you need to do what you have to do." And these last years that I've been doing field work in Mozambique, doing my interviews there. Since 2017, with a break for the COVID years, obviously, I've been going to Mozambique at least once and sometimes more than once a year. And thank you, Julia, you carried on that. You have to do what you have to do. So thank you to Julia. The next individual person I want to single out is Mchini Ngwenya. This is Malangatana's eldest child. Without Mchini, none of this would have happened. The way that I've put it to him is that had this book been a film, and supposedly the producer of the film, Mchini is the producer. He's the person who is practicalities, apart from just encouraging me, supporting me every step of the way, criticising me, saying, no, Richard, I don't think we'll do that. The logistics of getting to places, the introductions to elderly people who need to be interviewed, all that is down to Richie. So every step of the way, Richie has to be named tonight. He's one of Malangatana's 4 children, and he is the administrator of the Fundação Malangatana Valente Ngwenya. He devotes his life to the legacy of his father. And when you hear him talk, it's uncanny. He looks like his father, but when you hear him talk, it could be Malangatana speaking. So when you hear him talk on the video later, you're going to get some idea of what his dad sounded like. Next is Malangatana's niece, Alda Ngwenya, who again can't be here tonight. Without Alda again, there she is, posing with the family car. That's her son Glenn. Alda is a woman of many parts. She is, as you can see, she's a woman about town. She is the mother of 10 children. She's got 9 sons and 1 daughter. And tonight's a football night, I know, so I have told her that if she was the captain, she's got the full 11. No football fans here. I'm glad you're not going to be watching the England match because it starts up to be finished. I'm so happy you're here because I thought maybe nobody would come. Anyway, so Alda, also what Alda contributed to my research and to the book is that she translated the interviews with the elders in the Indian of the village of Malangatana. She translated them from Shironga because the elders are happy speaking their own language. They feel freer to speak if they can speak Shironga. I was and still am a beginner in Shironga. I don't understand everything which gets said. So without Alda's translations, Alda translated from Shironga to Portuguese, and I translated from Portuguese to the English versions which you'll find in the book. And it was pretty intensive work. We worked for some weeks in her son's garage where I was staying in Maputo. It was extremely hot, and we did some pretty intensive work, so I owe a huge thank you to Alda. Also, she is what, and I very much hesitate to use the word, in fact I won't use the word, traditional, but people call her a traditional doctor as opposed to a conventional doctor. Let's park the word traditional, we won't have that discussion at the moment. She is in Shironga, she's called either Nyanga or Nyamsoro. And that means that she is a healer, she's a combination of a healer, a diviner, and a spirit medium. And thanks to Alda and her translations, and her willingness to open up, to show me things which are actually quite esoteric knowledge, and to explain things to me. Again, the book could not have happened. And you're going to meet her shortly, so I won't carry on. Please, a round of applause for Alda. The third person who is the most interviewed person, apart from Ngwenya family members and the elders of Matalana, is Otelia Aquino. Otelia was Malangatana's personal assistant in the 1980s. And what she doesn't know about him, his artwork, his personal archive of documents in his house, atelier in Maputo, is not worth knowing. Otelia was in the last slide, if you can flip back to it. It's a slide from when she helped in the making of this film back in 1990. Can you had a picture of Otelia up a minute ago. There she is, with a rather young-looking researcher who was working on the film. And Atelier was like the producer of that film. I was the researcher on that film, and she and I had to work very closely to, set up all the shots and everything. Next on the list, I'm going to embarrass him, but I'm so happy that he has come tonight, and he hasn't been his usual loose himself. I'm going to say thank you to Charlie Gore, because from all my tutors who I thanked when I thanked the group, thank yous, Charlie was my lead supervisor throughout my PhD, and I think he had a vision of what this could turn out to be before I had, really. He gave me a seriously hard time at the beginning. He sat on my head very hard. And when I would write a little bit too, try to put a bit too much drama, or be a little bit too, journalistic, or even get a little bit polemical. That's a Charlie word. Polemical. Richard, I think you're being a bit polemical. He would say, Richard, you just can't write like that. This is a PhD, you have to learn to. That's what I learned. And eventually he kind of let me up, the pressure eased. And I owe a huge thank you to Charlie, because he left SOAS in the course of the work, but very kindly continued to supervise me right up to the end. So thank you, Charlie. I want to say also to the publishers, Galda, and I'm very happy that Jürgen Volk is here to represent Michael Galda, who is the director of Galda Publishers, for taking a chance on me, because art books, monographs, to use the technical academic term, about artists, rarely appear unless there is a major exhibition of that artist happening or going to happen very soon. And usually the artist already has some kind of a name, some kind of fame. The purpose of my work is to broaden, to widen knowledge about Malangatana, so that Malangatana draws the attention of a much wider public than he's had hitherto. So I can't be too grateful to Galda for taking a punt on me. The big dogs of Anglo-Saxon publishing, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to be in videos, but the answer I got from them was, it's a great project, Richard. Yes, we totally agree with you that Malangatana is a name that deserves to be better known. But how can you guarantee that we're going to sell books? How are we going to make any money out of this? They just said, yes, we'll do it. It was like Oba said at the beginning about Nando's. There was no quibbling. They just said, yes, let's do it. And the other thing which the major Anglo-Saxon publishers of art books said, we're talking about art books. They said, oh, Richard, you don't want colour images in the book, do you? So look, if it's an artist who has been marginalised and is getting some belated recognition from the monograph after his death, which is sadly too often the pattern, well, what are you going to do? You need to put his work out there. You need to have good quality paper. You need to reproduce his work, because otherwise people haven't seen it, they don't know it. Galda Verlag's, their attitude was just, yes, let's do it. And they've done it, so thank you, enormous thank you to you. And my last thank you is to Oba, because I met Oba at an exhibition of Mozambican revolutionary posters that we did at SOAS. I co-curated it with Paul Savage, who was one of the tutors at SOAS. And he came, we got chatting, and ever since that evening, every time I've met Oba at Africa Centre events, or film screenings, or whatever the occasions be, he's always got behind me and, kept me going, saying, yeah, it's a good project, keep back to you. So thank you very much for being here. All right, now we're going to take you to Mozambique. For those of you who know Maputo, this is going to be a nostalgia trip for you. This is Mozambique in 1990, when the film which Atelier and I worked on was made. For those of you who don't know Mozambique, we thought it was important to take you there to try and give you the flavour of it. You can find the whole film on YouTube. It's called Homeland's Malangatana. We're just going to play you the first 5 minutes, which is a whole week of driving around Maputo with the film crew, shooting street scenes and so on. It was a whole week boiled down to 5 minutes of film at the beginning of the hour, but I hope you'll enjoy it. We're just going to play the beginning of it.
Da missão interprovincial de Maputo e Gaza. Rádio Moçambique transmite dos seus estúdios em Maputo, na emissão interprovincial de Maputo e Gaza, em 31 e 41 metros. É assim que nós vamos abrir a nossa página musical, até muito próximo das 12 horas. This is the art of Malangatana Ngwenya. Its paintings and sculpture reflect the faces of a country that for the past 26 years has known not one day of peace. The country has been devastated by war, firstly against the colonial Portuguese, and today against a bandit force armed and controlled from South Africa, a war that has claimed the lives of 1 million Mozambicans. But despite the war, and despite a growing international reputation as an artist, Malangatana has stayed in his country, using his art as a weapon in the fight.
Just some weeks ago, people said to me, your art is so important. Why you don't come and live in Europe? But I can't do it, because who gives me this kind of expression? Are the people of this country? Is this country? Is this the whole Mozambique, from north to south, from east to west? Is this Southern Africa that is giving me all these colors, all those expressions?
I'm glad you saw that, and I think the thing that the camera person, his name was Luke Cardiff, deserves some credit there, because I think Malangatana was quite touched by the way that Luke's cinematography managed to catch the eyes and the facial expressions of the children in the crowds, and then the director and the editing, Adrian Penning, the director and his editing, managed to intercut scenes from the people on the streets in Maputo with Malangatana's paintings. So I think they did a good job. Okay, the next bit is the video message. This is from those key people who I mentioned, who really should be here, whose party this is. I'll give anything to happen here to be able to see what's going on tonight. But they have taken the trouble to send video messages. We've got a couple of video messages and a written message from Muchini, Malangatana's son Muchini, to read out, which I was going to read out. Shall we do the videos first? And then the first one, it's Vasco Lorenzo. Before that, Vasco Lorenzo. It's called Vasco to 145. I'll just introduce Vasco. Vasco was my landlord, if you like, when I mentioned the garage where we did the translations. Vasco is Malangatana's great nephew. He's Alda's eldest son, and he's also a musician. He works as a teacher. He's actually written He's written a whole suite, it's Malangatana suite, which he's putting together as a production, and he's going to work on it with the children he teaches. This is like the theme song, if you like. It's called Malangatana Hoyo Hoyo, which means hail, hail Malangatana sort of thing. Hey, great, yeah, wonderful Malangatana. I've chosen, and he's actually agreed to let you see this. This is a late night, this was kind of early hours of the morning performance, but I think it's worth playing maybe more than a more professional production. It's just filmed on a phone, but to me it's got more soul than a sort of slick commercial production. So we're just going to play you a snatch of it, because I don't want to embarrass. I'm going to get it in the neck from his brother Glenn, who was asleep on the settee, having worked hard all day. He was driving a taxi at that time, what they call in Maputo, Yango. And he was fast asleep, so I'll try and cut it before Glenn gets embarrassed. So if you could just play Vasco singing. He's singing in Sharon. And he's got a blanket up his knees because it was the cold season in Maputo at that time, June.
Valente Ngwenya wakuzaliwa kama mlimi, ile ndoa walisema tamaduni. Malangatana Valente Ngwenya wakuzaliwa kama mlimi, ile ndoa walisema tamaduni.
And one day, and I'm really not talking to the gentleman from Nando's, this isn't, it's not for you at all. One day when the Africa Centre has lots of sponsorship and we can do this, we're going to bring these people here and we'll do it all again and they'll be able to do it in person. So the next couple of clips need a little bit of explanation. Excuse me for carrying on talking. I'm glad you're here. The next couple of clips